Hey everyone, Zero JD here with the XBLA fan channel. I'm here to give you a quick taste of Void Bastards, a first-person roguelite game where you're essentially going through all these ships and stuff like that to collect items, craft materials, and essentially just progress the story, which is essentially there's this giant like prison ship floating derelict in space, and you are being guided by this, I believe maybe it's the warden or some helpful robot who's essentially like, we need to get this ship back on track and all that kind of fun stuff like that, but we got to activate the faster than light drive. To do that, you need to get a ID card and activate the system. Thing is, once you are a criminal in this world, you lose that ID card. It's shredded. So my first activity was to go and make a new ID card, which the robot actually told me that, oh hey, that's super illegal, so that's just going to add to your sentence. And then, oh no, that ID card didn't work, so because I need to verify it with the HR machine. The HR machine's gone, so now I'm actually working on getting a new HR machine and building that. So like I said before, it is a large prison ship, and you are actually, when you die, you actually are just made or given a new person to control. The entire thing about that is it's kind of like Demolition Man, you know, like the inmates are frozen, and this one they're like dehydrated and put in little bags and poured out, and you add water and boom, you're back. But yeah, it's got its own fun little animation. I really like the art style of this game. Very comic booky. I really like the gameplay, and I really like the music's pretty good too. But as for the gameplay, like you can see here, I have this sort of workbench. All this stuff stays with you if you die. So all this stuff that I've built stays. See this stuff on the left, the parts and the materials, that also stays with you. What doesn't stay with you is the stuff here. The fuel, food, I believe merits are lost, warp keys, torpedoes, heart starters, and ammunition is gone, I believe, when you die. I've only died once. I am playing on medium. It's not that hard. I've been given a lot of supplies, and it's been, as long as you take it slow, it's been pretty easy. Here is actually my character, Murray. When they each have their own kind of perks and stuff like that, I actually had a guy who was a smoker. So when I was trying to sneak around and not alert people, he would actually cough and alert them. This guy actually, if a ship doesn't have power beforehand, it actually lets you know that. And I was talking about the crafting on this side here. You are actually using these items here, these materials on the bottom here to craft these parts. You can also collect these parts. You can also flag ships that have specific parts that you need on the map. That is an item you build though. And then, of course, you can recycle stuff that you don't need anymore. As you can see, there's little cogs next to them. Those are items that you need. So let's go back to my workbench. Nothing I need to build right now. All you really start with is this pistol. As you can see here, there's this little scouter thing on it. I've actually had that. No, that's not it. I have that selected as like, hey, I want to find this item in one of these ships, so I can actually build the upgraded armor, which will give me more health. Let's go to the star map. If you look to the far right there, you'll see these two arrows. That green arrow is actually the item that I have marked. So this is the this is the part of the game where you're going around. You're actually picking where you're going. Each move takes a one fuel and one thing of food, which is right there. I have 4 jumps left and 1 day of food. I have actually specifically stopped at this point because this ship, as you can see on the upper right, has food in it, and it's small. So that is actually letting me know what is in that ship. Like, this one is a cruise ship, so there is usually lots of materials, and they're usually really large. But this one over here is actually a health ship, and it'll give me my health back and all that kind of fun stuff. And this one has lots of fuel. So each, there's different classes of ship, and they usually have about the same stuff. Like this ship will always have fuel. This one will always have so-and-so. Most of the ships always have fuel and food. They kind of don't want you to go too far without having to find them. And as you can see here, there's the little cogs above the ship, which has like it says it has form so-and-so detected. That is one of the items I need to craft. Below that yellow space is actually the enemies that you will counter. There's different amounts of enemies, like some, a few, lots, or shad loads. I believe it's shad loads, which means there is tons of them. And then below them there is specific, like this is like, hey, this ship doesn't have power. This ship has infighting between the enemies, so everyone has lower health. Or this one is like, there's no enemies, but there's these rifts that could summon enemies kind of stuff. And I can always rest and recover health, but we don't really need to. We're going to go on in. So this is my loadout. I'm going to take my pistol. I'm going to take my fast whacker, and I'm going to take my zapper. And off we go. I've very much, if you can't tell, enjoyed this game a lot. So when you get to these ships, you will actually get a readout of the entire ship layout. So one of the things I usually do first is go to the helm, and I get the ship map because it actually highlights where all the lockers are that have items in it, and you collect those items, and of course, that's how you build stuff. The FTL area in the back usually has fuel and all that kind of fun stuff like that. And I feel that when I go to like the diner areas, that usually has more food in them, kind of stuff. As you can see, one of them is the atmosphere. Atmo is that's actually where you refill your oxygen. You have health and oxygen, which slowly drains away. And you can refill it at Atmo, but that only has a limited amount of usage. And then, of course, you have your generator, which I need to get to recover the power. So let's go. I can run, I can shoot, and then on my D-pad I have different goodies. So let's check this map again. So I need to go forward and then to the left. Very simple. These are portals right ahead of me. Those little warp enemies in. Those are radiation spills. Those are bad. As you can see here, there's no power, so I can't open this. So let's run over here. And of course, there's stuff scattered all about. Power is back. So now, if you can see on the top left of the map, there's little stars. Those are all the highlighted things that I can open and stuff. Some of them require merits, which I think are just points, or essentially like coupons. No, I don't want to do that. I want to get back here. You can also lock and unlock doors. If you lock a door, the enemies cannot get through it. Top of the screen, you can see my health, and you can see how much air I have left. I actually have an upgrade that has increased that, and you can crouch to sneak. So let's head on and get some fuel. Like I said, refill oxygen if I wanted. Since this ship is small, I should be fine. And like I said, most ships do have... Oh, puppy. Hold on. Here you go. There you go. And he usually has fun stuff in him. He's also an achievement. So he had a glow bulb in him, and that's a full craftable item. If you look at the map and there's a giant star, that's a craftable item. So always try to get those first. And even if you don't need them for any of your building stuff, get them because you can then just disassemble them. Not enough merits. But there's also like events outside of the ship. You'll come to empty spaces that just have food, or there's space pirates, or there's a giant space whale. This allows me to get rid of bad buffs. So I don't know if you can hear it. I believe an enemy has spawned. So I haven't seen any food. There's dining areas right here. Okay, that's perfect. So as they move around, you'll actually see on screen, they'll either say like hover, hover, or tap, tap, or something like that. Kind of to alert you that they're around there. Alright, cool. What are you ready at? Peepers are bad. They will alert robots to your position to murder you. Okay, should be a nice amount of food over here. Oh, there's some food. There we go, perfect. So I believe these are called, these are janitors, and they are like some of the most basic enemies. Oh boy, there's a lot of them. Still not that bad though. And they'll drop stuff and fun stuff. They're actually coming from those portals. A lot of these ships seem to just be derelict ships that kind of got lost in the nebula, and just terrible things happen to the crew. There's these little blob things that are called tourists, and if you shoot them, they explode. These little tiny men who will kind of hang around and run at you and like just shout at you. It's really funny. So that was a ship. So now that I've finished that ship, at the end of it, it's going to show me what I got. So salvaged items going to be added to my collection on the left there. And then the stuff on the top right, I recycle. And those are the things that I will keep forever. So we're going to go to the workbench and see if we can craft anything. It doesn't look like it, but can I build anything? I also believe it tells you if you get something and it just doesn't build anything. Like, I can build this if I get the more plas and more slag. And that's the flow of the game. And you cannot re-enter ships. But let's go and take a quick peek at... Yeah, take a peek at this one. Pistol. And just take these kitty bots with me. But yeah, I really like how they handle the roguelite elements in this game. I would highly suggest this game if you couldn't guess that. See how this ship's much larger. This one also has a security station, a break room, which has a coffee machine, which will actually, if I drink the coffee, or I think it's tea, it triples my damage. And there's a garbage area, and there's a little recycling terminal there, which I can recycle stuff in. So let's actually go and do this. And oh, hey, buddy. See how there's like kind of sounds that inform you where enemies are and that kind of stuff. So far, nothing's been... oh, that's a phantom. So phantoms are fun for the fact because they are... I think they're called spooks, and they will phase in and out of existence. Oop. All right, cool. But yeah, that's... there we go. I'm caffeinated. Here, let's run over here and use this real quick, and then I'll let you guys go. Yeah, I think these are all just like normal people that have had just terrible, terrible things happen to them. Also, if I wanted to, like let's say I get really low on health or something like that, I can leave. Actually, let's go to the gene lab real quick, and I can show you that. Oh, there's no. Oh, there it is. Just gonna go to the gene lab, and now I can pick from here. That's really good. So yeah, that's how you get buffs and stuff like that. There are outside events that will shuffle your perks around and stuff like that. But yeah, I can just leave. But yeah, that's Void Bastards. I would highly, highly, highly suggest this. I'm enjoying it a lot. The entire premise is fun. I really like the art style. But I am ZeroJD. This is the XBLA Fans channel. That was Void Bastards. Very fun first-person roguelike game. Lots of weapons. I have like 3 or 4 of the weapons made and all that kind of stuff, and they can be upgraded and all that kind of fun stuff. There's indirect damage stuff. There's that little kitty bot that you throw, and it'll putter around making meowing sounds and then explode. It's a lot of fun. But thank you so much for watching. I am ZeroJD. This is the XBLA Fans channel. Thank you, and have a nice day.